Hi, I'm Andrew. Grace is my sister.
I'm Grace. Andrew's my brother.
We're broadcasting to you from District 14, the podcasting district.
Why is it called that, you ask?
Because 14 years ago, a movie was released which was based on a best-selling YA book written by Suzanne Collins.
We saw it on opening weekend and exited the theaters, forever changed.
That movie was called The Hunger Games.
It's difficult to articulate what a phenomenon the Hunger Games books and films became during the 2010s unless you were actually there.
And that's where we come in.
Every episode will cover one chapter of the Hunger Games.
And share secrets the Capitol doesn't want you to know about.
We'll also share secrets that you might not want to know about.
So this is your last chance to avoid spoilers or potentially upsetting content.
The series centers around the death of minors, and it doesn't get much better from there.
So, without further ado...
Happy Hunger Games!
And may the odds be ever in your favor. Section 1. Previously on District 14. So, you know how Katniss and Peeta worried about getting burned alive by their stylist in the parade?
Well, luckily it turns out they had nothing to be worried about, thanks to the clever fingers of their stylist. District 12 stole the show.
Whereas most of the other tributes only commit crimes against fashion.
Ooh! But will District 12's red-hot entrance prepare them for the true baptism of fire?
All this and more non-stop coverage of Hunger Games LXXIV come to you live from District 14.
District 14 is made possible by viewers like you. Thank you.
Section 2. Reruns. All right, we're on episode 6.
Woo!
We start this chapter with District 12 and the rest of Team 10 entering the Tribute Center and pressing...
Wait a second.
What?
Guess what floor District 12 lives on?
Oh, gee, I don't know, Grace. Is it 6, 7?
It's the 12th floor.
Oh, of course it is.
Genius. That's so easy.
Yeah, it is. But, Grace, what would you prefer? That they all have mixed up crazy ones?
Let me just say, I think it's hilarious that they do things that way.
Yes.
I think that they have District 12 the highest up, not because it's the largest number, but because it's the least convenient.
The least convenient.
Anyways, sorry for the interruption.
Yeah, well, District 12, in a way, is the best situated because they get a great view of the people who are going to kill them. The other people don't have that luxury.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and apparently Effie says later on that the other tributes are allowed to have dessert, and they are. Yeah, it's weird that District 12 gets the best treatment this way.
Yeah.
I guess it wouldn't make much sense to send District 1 to the 12th floor.
That does make sense.
Yeah, and it makes sense that there isn't a 13th floor because there often isn't a 13th floor in casinos because it's an unlucky number.
Well, little do you know, we'll talk about the 13th floor later in my notes.
Ooh, 13th floor. Ooh. Okay, so they press the 12 button. Every district gets their own floor, which will house them during the Hunger pre-games. It's a funny bit of city planning. The Tribute Center is just behind the President's Mansion in the State Circle. I mention this because in Mockingjay, the rebels sneak into the Tribute Center to bust out several valuable prisoners during a blackout. Why didn't the rebels send several hovercrafts? One to shepherd the prisoners to safety, and once the coast was clear, a bunch of others could swoop in and bomb the President's Mansion.
Budget cuts.
Budget cuts, of course. Even if Snow wasn't on the premises, or it didn't succeed in killing him, it's still valuable propaganda to destroy landmarks. Tactically, it could render the most important house in all of Panem unlivable. It'd be like if Team Rocket from the Pokemon video games tried to break into Professor Oak's lab to steal the 3 starters, and skipped Ash Ketchum's house when it's within walking distance and Pikachu is right there. Yeah, like, you know what? Maybe that's why it took so long for you guys to overthrow the Capitol. You cheaped out on the hovercrafts.
Exactly. You got him. Flaunt him.
Yeah. So, Katniss has only been on an elevator 2 times in her life. Once to accept a medal on her father's behalf, and the second time was yesterday when she bid farewell to her friends and family. Otho also visited her, too.
Otho was there, too, fun fact.
Yes, and it was very awkward. District 12's elevator smells like sour milk and moves at snail's pace, but the Tribute Center, oh boy. It resembles one you'd find in a fancy hotel where you can peer out and look at the people below you. Katniss had so much fun on this elevator, she is considering asking Effie if they can ride it again, but somehow that seems childish.
Yes. And, like I've said many times, she is a child!
You know what, Katniss? Your childhood may very well end soon. Just have fun, screw maturity, you stay on that elevator and ride as much as you want. Press all the buttons and make all the other riders mad at you for delaying them.
And furthermore, don't even do any training. What if the arena is just a giant elevator?
Yeah, but you know what? This is the training.
This is the training.
You know what? That actually sounds kind of rad if the arena was a hotel.
Ooh, that could be cool.
Yeah, because the Hunger Games this time around is more of like a meadows and a forest and that sort of thing, which isn't a bad setting, but I feel like we haven't seen the really kooky, like experimental arenas before.
True.
That could be interesting to see later on, because we know that the arenas are designed to look like another thing. We'll have a lot to say about that in Chapter 7, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, I know we keep on teasing Chapter 7 and what's going to be, but I promise you'll be worth it.
Yep.
Okay, Effie's duties have not concluded yet, because Haymitch, no one knows where he is, and she's still on point and is in charge of recruiting sponsors for District 12 and shepherding her tributes to events.
Yep.
This is likely the first time Effie's ever had tributes that went to the Hunger pre-games with interested parties sniffing around.
Yes, and it's because of their fashion and their statement.
Yeah, and also because Katniss volunteered, and it became like a big television moment.
It seems like their notoriety keeps on growing bit by bit, and a lot of it is accidental in some ways. Well, not accidental, but just kind of random. Like, you have no idea who would be nominated. It was Katniss' sister. Suddenly, she volunteers. You know, it's all building upon each other.
Yeah, it really shows what makes reality TV entertaining is that it was unlikely that Prim would have been chosen, and it's even more unlikely that Katniss will have volunteered for her. And then PETA, whose name isn't in the arena bowl as much, was chosen as well. So they have some riz going in. They have some hype building up. Mm-hmm. So Effie is taking the time to praise the costumes and how well Katniss and PETA worked the crowd. She's also detailing what she's been telling potential sponsors. She's been smoozing with them all day, and to her credit, she's very quick on her feet based on the limited information she has. Mm-hmm. Haymitch hasn't told her what their strategy is just yet, so Effie creates a fake strategy, which is just vague enough that it'll feed into the real strategy when it arrives. Mm-hmm. She makes it appear as though they're holding on to mysterious information that will be revealed at a later time. This kills two birds with one stone. It covers up Haymitch's indiscretion and leaves people wanting more. Very sneaky, sis. Mm-hmm. And then, okay, so Effie's been very clever so far, but here's where she really starts to grate on her tributes.
Yes. Socially, maybe not the most clever to insult people, but she does it again.
Yes.
She does it again. So she says, this is Effie, Haymitch hasn't bothered to tell me your strategies, but I've done my best with what I've had to work with. How Katniss sacrificed herself for her sister. How you've both successfully struggled to overcome the barbarism of your district.
Wow. Katniss is just gobsmacked by Effie suggesting that anyone in the districts could be considered barbaric when it's the capital that made the districts what they are.
But Andrew, their elevators smell bad.
Their elevators smell bad. Wouldn't you go Savage too if your elevators smelled bad?
Exactly. If I could only ride an elevator twice, and one of them was to accept the ward after my father died, and the other time was because I was going into the death arena, I would also be barbaric.
Yes. Yeah, so when Katniss is like, oh boy, this elevator is awesome, Effie interprets that as that, oh good, you've overcome your barbarity. Good for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the real barbarian. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the only reason the kids in the districts are constantly killing each other is because they're being made to by the Capitol. District-on-district violence is being inflated and amplified by the Hunger Games. Mm-hmm. Katniss is like, barbarism? That's ironic coming from a woman who's helping to prepare us for slaughter. And what's she basing her success on? Our table manners?
It's so funny that they focus so much on table manners. You can see that it really bothered Katniss when it was mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Like, you know, those other district folks, like other folks from 12 had really horrible table manners, but you all are actually okay. And she's like, you know what, I'm going to eat all messy just to bother her.
Yes, bother.
Mm-hmm, bother.
Yep. And so the sponsors are logically skeptical about betting on District 12. They've only crowned 2 victors over the course of 73 years. That's an average of 1 winner every 37 years or so. Anyone from District 12 winning the games would be considered a fool's bet. Mm-hmm. After all, their tributes don't work in the mines. They don't have experience on the job to speak of. These include, but are not limited to, developing musky mass through digging, operating heavy machinery, or wielding pickaxes. You'd think the core curriculum in District 12's schooling would have covered that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, or somebody, like a parent or a relative, would have taught them how to use a pickaxe, like, just so you get prepared for the coal mines or you get reaped. How are these parents not preparing for their kids for the inevitability that they could get chosen?
I think they're just like, am I going to teach this person this skill if they're maybe going to die while they're a child, or as an adult, dying in the mines? Like, I think there's very little optimism. Of like, okay, like I'm going to set them up for success. I'm going to do all these things because there's this sense of things are going to be bad anyways.
Yeah, the adults have kind of given up, it sounds like, for the most of them.
I agree. I think a lot of the adults are probably in similar circumstances to Katniss's mom.
Yeah, District 12 is the most beaten down of all the districts, certainly. Mm-hmm. Like, there's not really talk of rebellion. There's not really talk about, we have a lot of good chances. They're just like, yeah, our tributes die every year except for those 2 times, and they were kind of flukes because of cheating behind the scenes, although they don't know that.
Yep.
Yeah, and so the coal mines are District 12's biggest employer, which additionally surprises me. Why more kids don't know how to do coal mining stuff. Do they just learn about the coal itself in school and never actually handle it?
That's so funny, because a lot of school things, like, they'll do, like, a show and tell. Can you imagine if they did a show and tell and everyone was like, this is coal from my dad's coal mine. This is coal from my dad's coal mine. Yeah. And they all just come up with coal, and it feels like Charlie Brown.
Yeah, I got a rock.
I got a rock.
My dad didn't get anything in the coal mines, but he did bring me this rock from the mines.
Yes.
And it's authenticated, so you can tell it's from the mines.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have the certificate.
Yeah. We don't have money for feeding people, but we do have a printing budget.
We do have a printing budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, District 7 gives us good deals on paper.
Exactly.
Yeah. To quote Diggory Kirk from the Chronicles of Narnia, I wonder what they teach them at these schools.
Mm-hmm. A lot of cool curriculum, but not practical skills.
Yes. Okay, I swear, if I find out that the game makers sat on pickaxes but pushed for Oops All Maces and Cecilia's games that one time, I'm going to scream.
Mm-hmm. Oops All Pickaxes.
Yeah, awesome. Oops All Pickaxes. Maybe the Oops All Maces year wasn't that popular, so they're like, we're going to do it with the pickaxes, but on second thought, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Nah.
Yeah. But I'll give District 12 this. While Effie's education at the university had more pedigree than District 12's public school from hell, she still doesn't know jack about the industry she's been assigned to for 2.5 decades.
Yes, and Effie, after insulting them, be like, you're barbaric, like, good job overcoming that, sweetie. She then says, stupidly, everyone has their reservations, naturally, you being from the coal district. But as I said, and this was very clever of me, I said, well, if you put enough pressure on coal, it turns to pearls. No, it doesn't.
No, it does not.
No, it does not.
Effie beams at Katniss and Pete as so brilliant that they have no choice but to humor her. Of course, any first grader educated on the finer points of coal curriculum could tell Effie that coal does not, in fact, turn to pearls. Ready for some science, kids? Pearls develop in shellfish. Let's use an oyster as a classic example of a famous shellfish. We'll name her Olivia. This pearl-making process occurs when irritant, such as a grain of sand, enters Olivia and lodges itself in her mantle. Olivia then secretes a composite material known as nacre to coat the irritant that once it has registered said irritant as a foreign body. Nacre is also quickly referred to as mother of pearl. Oh. Since Grace is the proud parent of a ferocious feline named Pearl, it would be appropriate to refer to Grace as Nacre if you ever meet her on the street.
Y'all, if you see me on the street, please don't say anything about me being nacre.
Yes. Okay.
It sounds too close to naked.
Yeah, it sounds too close to naked.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so a pearl sac of nacre is formed around the irritant to protect Olivia, and between the range of a few months to several years later, a pearl has been formed. Voila! Pearls, similar to diamonds, come in a wide variety of hues, including, but not limited to, black pearls, green pearls, orange pearls, and purple pearls. As for how diamonds are made, boy, consider me dumbfounded. I didn't fully comprehend this until doing research for this episode. That old chestnut of coal becoming diamonds if you put enough pressure on it, yeah, that's a myth. Diamonds are prehistoric, dating back billions of years. They predate all plant life on Earth, which is the source material of coal. Saying that coal creates diamonds is like saying fossil fuels created the dinosaurs, or the poop you produced at eating at Taco Bell had printed the menu you ordered your food off of. Or that Sunrise on the Reaping movie somehow inspired Stephanie Meyer to write The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner back in 2010. Katniss is trying to internally reason why Effie would ever come to this conclusion. Apparently District 1 has machines which transform graphite into diamonds, but we don't mine graphite in District 12. That was part of District 13's job before they were destroyed. I wonder if the people she's been plugging to us all day either know or care. Effie's pearl analogy is incorrect on so many levels. To quote Kermit the Frog from the Great Muppet Caper, it's amazing. You are 100% wrong. I mean it. Nothing you said has been right. Mm-hmm. Does Effie's pearl analogy point to the Capitol's ignorance about where the very things they wear on their person come from? I mean, who cares about how diamonds and pearls are made as long as you wear them? Who cares about objective truth as long as you have a really good soundbite? Or does it speak to how the average person in the Capitol is conditioned to not cause a fuss by pointing out to Effie that she's slightly misinformed?
I think a lot of people in the Capitol are just walking around confidently incorrect.
Yes, confidently wrong. Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, maybe you're wrong about how pearls are formed. Those books you read about moths won't help you fit in at dinner parties. Those facts you learn in school will endear you to important people. And your hands-on experience in the field of oyster farming doesn't matter because someone louder than you said otherwise. Believe it or not, Effie's dumb little humble brag goes on to become an important foundation of Katniss and Peeta's romantic relationship. I'm not even kidding. In Catching Fire, Peeta calls back to that "Call the Pearls" comment to make Katniss laugh as an inside joke in Nick's company. In an earlier episode, we speculate that one of the future children could be named Dandelion Orange Malark Everdeen, or Dome. You can call him Dome. You can probably guess where this is going. I think that their daughter would be named Pearl. It would start off as a joke, like, hey, why don't we name our next kid Pearl? But when the birth certificate comes and Katniss is like, okay, I got to name the last one, you can name this one, Peeta gets a mischievous little glint in his eyes. He seizes his brush, whips out his oil paints, selects forest green, and begins to write down the name of his next masterpiece. Katniss begins to piece it together. Green makes sense from the middle name because that's her favorite color. But what could possibly prelude green? And then hits her like a sack of bricks and she starts heeing and hawing and knee slapping like, oh no, you didn't, babe. He responds, oh yes I did, babe. And proudly displays the birth certificate of Pearl Green Malark Everdeen. Exactly. And since they still have the printing budget, it's on really good paper. It's on really good paper. Mm-hmm. Me and Grace tossed around many cursed wombos. Okay, wombos comes from Professor Sandy on Instagram and TikTok. Would highly recommend checking him out to hear some of his wombos. That being said, he also encourages people to create their own wombos. Yes. And we have done that. A couple of cursed ones. Yes. Astock. Astrid plus Burdock. So that's Katniss's parents. Heinous. Hamish plus Coriolanus. Penis is classic. That's Peeta and Katniss. Yep. And Prick. Prim plus Finnick, before settling on Dandelion and Pearl. Henceforth, on District 14, we plan on referring to the unnamed Malark Everdeen children as Dandelion and Pearl. I even named future chapters after them. You know what? I saw a theory online that in the final chapter they don't say the names of the children because their lives are no longer for our entertainment. Oh, that's really cool. Isn't that cool? But that being said, we can speculate all we want. Yeah, it could be anything. It could be anything. Yeah. If we ever make merchandise, they will feature spoofs of the covers to Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Pearl called Hunger Games Dandelion and Hunger Games Pearl. Watch us. You can't sue us. We're too powerful. Yeah, this is the hill we're dying on. We're sticking to our guns. I don't care how many people come at us to tell us otherwise. You cannot reason with Delulu people like us. Even if the next book, Suzanne Collins, is a Midnight Sun-esque prequel where we find out that the Malark Everdeen kids are actually named Ciabatta and Fakasha, classic bread names, we will not budge. If
It's not ciabatta.
Wait, it's not?
Ciabatta.
Ciabatta?
Ciabatta bread.
Wow, I'm glad you told me now.
Ciabatta.
Yeah, I could have gone through an entire season calling them ciabatta.
Yeah.
Ciabatta. But I got focaccia right.
Yes.
Okay. Hey. And if you tell us otherwise, focaccia you. We will gladly cover that book on our show, but we will go to our graves swearing that those are just cute little nicknames their doting daddy calls them.
Yep.
We aren't unreasonable. We will take bribes from Lionsgate or Scholastic to call them by their canon names on our podcast, but privately we'll still call them Dandelion, Orange, and Pearl Green. Nothing you could ever take from us was worth keeping anyway. But enough of the for-your consideration campaign. We find out that Effie cannot steal the sponsor deals because that's Hamish's call, not hers.
Yes. And Effie gets a little bit intense, as she does, and she tells the tributes that she'll get Hamish to the negotiation table on their for them at gunpoint, if necessary. Here's my question. If Effie was living in the regular United States before all this had happened, do you think that she would be a member of the National Rifle Association?
That's interesting. You would assume no because she's so prim and proper, but then again, you never know.
You never know.
I mean, she has this really poofy dress. She could be packing heat.
Exactly.
And Grace theorized that Effie shot a tranquilizer dart at Hamish, so it might not even be like a firearm. It's just like a dart gun.
She loves guns.
Yes.
That's her new headcanon. Effie loves guns and wished that everyone in the arena just had guns.
Yes. Yes, I was wondering about that. Like, do you think that guns would be in the Hunger Games? Because there's a later chapter where Caesar asks one of the tributes, are you good with a gun? Mm-hmm. So that implies to me that there have been guns in the arena before.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine there's too many of them, because if you gave all the kids guns, the Hunger Games would be over like that so quickly.
That being said, you have to be good at aiming
Yes.
in order to use a gun. And if you run out of bullets, a gun is no use.
Actually, you could use it as a club.
That's a good point. Oops, all clubs.
Yes. What I was thinking was that they put a bunch of guns at the cornucopia, but the ammo would be scattered throughout the arena. So they're all just going... And then you have to run off to go get ammo. And then sponsor gifts could be guns. But I imagine it'd be pretty expensive, because if there's one tribute with the guns and everybody else doesn't, that drastically increases their chance of winning.
True.
Yeah. You know what? There would be water guns at the cornucopia, and a bunch of super soakers, and it'd be the most fun Hunger Games of all time, where they're all shooting each other with water guns.
They would just be having a wonderful summer together.
A wonderful summer. And then they were like, oh my god, one of the game makers pulled a prank on us and put a bunch of water guns in the arena, made it look like real guns. Okay, sorry everybody, we'll get back to killing.
Whoops. All summer fun.
Yep. And then the meanest tribute in the arena would have lemon juice inside of their gun. Be like, oh, that's just mean. I don't like that. You squared me in the eye.
Exactly.
Yeah, not the face. Not the face.
Not the face.
Yeah. It would keep them from becoming dehydrated also.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, in other words, if the game makers were nice, I think they would let everyone have a fun water fight.
Yeah. Maybe that's what the Capital Hunger Games are like if they ever do, like, reenactments.
Yeah.
Like, they use wiffle bats instead of, like, actual baseball bats.
Yes, and they use trick knives.
Yeah, and they use Nerf weapons.
Exactly. All Nerf weapons.
It's Nerf or nothing.
It's Nerf or nothing.
Yes.
So, after she threatens to kill Hamish...
Kill him. I think she would just nick him.
True. Maybe she would just, like, shoot him in the leg.
Why would she shoot Hamish? Because that means she wouldn't be able to approve the sponsor deals.
That's true. She would threaten, but if he gives her any lip, she would shoot his toe straight off.
Shoot his toe straight off. He has 9 others. He doesn't need the big one.
Exactly. You don't need toes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's probably helpful to have some toes, but you don't need all of them. Like, 10 is a lot.
Yeah, toes aren't like fingers. You can go without most of them.
Exactly. What are you doing? Opening your alcohol bottles with your toes? No, you're using your fingers.
Yeah,
you can have less toes.
Yeah, you know what? I think that Effie tried to shoot at Hamish to warn him for walking around without his shoes.
Exactly.
She'd be like, that's disgusting. If I see those toes again, I'm going to shoot one of them off.
Exactly.
Try me.
Try me. I dare you.
Yep. Although lacking many departments, Effie Trinket has a certain determination I have to admire. So, Katniss is pro Effie shooting Hamish.
Yes.
Or trying to scare him into doing his job.
Hashtag boss babe.
Yeah. Hashtag boss babe.
Women can do anything.
Including shoot men.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So, we're going to move on from Effie possibly having a piece on her. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a long, successful day of tributing, and Katniss unwinds in her luxurious quarters, which are larger than the Everdean's entire house, and plays around with the TV and the showers and a device that untangles parts and straightens Katniss's hair. And
the shower has a panel with more than 100 options.
100?
For things you can do. I'm curious if they're just, like, mostly little alterations or if they're, like, insane. Like, if there's... Oh, it changes the water pressure. Oh, it changes the color of the water, the lighting. And then there's something like, don't press that button. It shoots acid at you.
It shoots acid at you.
Exactly.
This is a little test to see if you can read.
Exactly.
Oh my god. Are they sending illiterate children to the Hunger Games?
I mean, possibly and probably there have been illiterate children. I mean, you don't need to read to kill people.
Yeah, but what about the television prompter?
You do need to read for the television prompter and to survive the shower.
Yes, and to survive the shower.
Yes.
You know what? That'd actually be a pretty good arena as if it was like a bathroom. Like a giant bathroom and like a shower.
It would just be a bunch of tribute shitting.
And then throwing it. In an interview that the cast of Catching Fire did, PETA said that he would use a plunger as a weapon. And Josh Hutcherson said he would use a plunger as a weapon. And Jennifer Lawrence, of course, said, I would poop and then use it as a weapon by throwing it like Monkey.
A classic J-Law.
Yeah, classic J-Law.
Yep. So she is basically having her Barbie moment.
Yes.
Where she's like, I can use this little program to figure out my outfit, and I have this fancy shower. Hi, I'm Barbie.
Mm-hmm. Hi, I'm Barbie. Mm-hmm. And I'm just PETA. Yeah, okay, so Katniss gets an outfit that's more to her taste that she can move around in. She orders some room service and lounges about snacking on goose liver and puffy bread she's ordered for herself. God, poor Haymitch. Goose is being eaten. We know he loves his gooses.
Yep.
And she's called to dinner by Effie. In addition to the movie that I like is that Kat is flipping through different views before settling on ambient forest loops so she feels more at ease like it's a hotel room.
Yep.
It's one of the few cozy scenes in the series. It sounds fun.
There's very few.
Yes. We get a healthy reminder that Katniss is her hard mood changer when she all but grunts, good, I'm starving. Lay off me, I'm starving!
Yeah. Which is funny because she's been eating.
Yes.
She's been eating.
And she wants to eat some more. Effie's like, Katniss, don't order anything, you'll spoil your dinner.
Good, I'm starving!
Yeah, good, I'm starving. Sin and Portia are hanging out with PETA on the balcony, looking at the view before joining Effie and Katniss for dinner. Haymitch hasn't arrived yet, and Katniss is glad that it won't just be Effie and Haymitch sniping over the table the entire evening. Katniss will use dinner as more being about strategizing than eating if she is starving, apparently. Mm-hmm. And after the parade, she has more faith in Sin and Portia's judgment. It is here, as Team 12 is awaiting Haymitch's arrival, we get our first glimpse of an Avox, who occupy the lowest social class the Pam has to offer. District citizenry may be abused. They may be neglected, but I cannot in good conscience refer to them as slaves because that is the role Avoxes serve. Even if they do live in abject poverty, they don't live in the capital, and it's better to reign in hell than to serve in heaven. And
Avoxes, it's very cruel. Essentially, they cut their tongues out so they cannot speak. So their only choice is to be completely silent. And because they know what the district will do if they do anything else, they basically have to do anything anybody says. So they are silent, and they are enslaved by the capital.
Yes, it makes you wonder at what point that they decided to institute slavery. Mm-hmm. Because after the post-apocalypse thing, I'm wondering how far back the slave trade in the capital goes. Mm-hmm. Because we learn later on that Katniss doesn't even know what an Avox is. Mm-hmm. She has to be told. So that makes me think that this is something that's being done in the capital that people in the districts just don't know about. Mm-hmm. Maybe at some point they were like, well, we need somebody to go down to the sewers and other stuff, and it could be a good way of punishing prisoners by making them slaves.
Yep.
Yeah, so when the movie came out, there was a common complaint that the Avoxes aren't in the movie. But they actually are if you look for them. They're the ones who are dressed in red that vaguely resemble geishas, and their bowed heads suggest that they've been beaten down and don't want to invite further harm. Mm-hmm. It's a blink and you miss it touch.
Yep.
The male Avox offers everyone wine. Is this the Capitol's way of getting these kids drunk as a skunk so they can act messy on camera?
Exactly.
Katniss has never had wine, aside from the homemade stuff her mother uses for coughs. What? It's not valuable to drink when you're sick, so why does Astrid use it like that? Why are they bothering to make wine if they have all these grapes they could be eating instead? Wine, particularly red wine, can act preventively against the common cold, but you'd be better off drinking most other fluids. Mm-hmm. Now maybe, just maybe, Astrid's using homemade wine because she's running on fumes with her apothecary. So she's offering up spirits to at least people's minds off of their mind burns. Did Astrid's depression manifest itself into alcoholism after Burdock died? That might explain why Katniss holds such a low opinion of Haymitch for drowning his sorrows in a bottle when kids are relying on him. Mm-hmm. Katniss never clarifies whether or not Astrid purchased homemade wine from the bootlegger, or if she herself is a bootlegger. If the latter is true, then the parties at the Everdeen house have to be the place to be in District 12. They've sold you cat kush. They've sold you Katniss fried chicken. And now, for a limited time only, if you want to wet your whistle, well, try some home-brayed Primrose.
Yes.
I've yet to see anyone go blind from it because that person sampled at least one drop from every bottle. Yeehaw! That's a quote from Primrose Everdeen, the CFO of Everdeen and Everdeen Everyday Eatery. Once again, that's Everdeen and Everdeen Everyday Eatery, and Primrose Everdeen is the CFO.
Yes.
The CEO is Buttercup.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's why all the cats were having a party when Katniss was sent up because he was just so happy that she was gone.
Yeah, he's like, yay!
Yeah, and I also love that Katniss is like a rank and file employee compared to her little sister and her cat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just not mentioned on the pages, guys. We're reading between the lines.
Exactly.
Katniss figures, well, when else will I get the chance to drink some wine? And downs a few sips. She starves it as tart, dry, I can stand a few spoonfuls of honey. She doesn't seem to hate it as much as coffee. What the book doesn't tell you is that Katniss' palate is actually so refined, she's actually critiquing the Capitol's winemaking. Her brewed spoonfuls are an important part of what makes Primrose a part of a balanced breakfast, after all.
Breakfast?
Balanced breakfast, yeah.
No.
Come on, Haymitch would have Primrose for breakfast. Tell me I'm wrong.
Haymitch would.
Yes.
Anyone else would be insane.
Anyone else would be insane. Mm-hmm. We later see Katniss get drunk with Haymitch and catching fire, pulling a Greg from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I puke on my cat, I puke on my cat. I fall through the doorway and puke on my cat. Poor little Buttercup did not expect that. I tried for the toilet, but puke on my cat.
Poor little Buttercup.
From sexing a bush.
At first...
That wasn't a woman? No, it was a bush. That's where that scar comes from.
Buttercup, not only is Katniss like, I'm gonna kill you, but then she also barfed on the cat. Yes.
I think that she had a clear view to the toilet, but she chose to find Buttercup. Where is he? Where is he? And then she pukes on Buttercup for hacking a hairball onto her dad's hunting jacket.
Exactly. Revenge.
Yeah. And Cass is like, oh, Buttercup is so ugly. Why does he hate me so much? But Buttercup's like, you are the worst human ever. I hate you. And the only reason I don't try to claw your eyes out is because I like Prim, and Prim likes you.
Yep.
So it's a uneasy alliance between the two of them. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Katniss drains half of her glass of wine at the table, with the adults being like, is it good?
Childhood drinking.
Yeah.
I suppose it's common if they're acting like this.
Or if they're French.
Or if they're French.
Yes.
Yeah.
She begins to feel lighthearted and wisely switches to water instead. As a hunter, she doesn't like feeling drunk and hopes it'll wear off soon. Mm-hmm. She just can't imagine seeking out this escape like Haymitch does. It's a mystery to her. Haymitch finally shows up at the table, and he also retains his own stylist when mentoring because he's been cleaned up when he arrives. My earlier estimation of one stylist per tribute is, now I stop and think about it, kind of unrealistic. There's all these people behind the scenes that have to keep up their appearances, like the host and the announcer and all the game makers. And I doubt any of these people do their own grooming.
They want to have more control.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. In the postseason section of of Sunrise on the Reaping, Hamish's stylist was fired due to negligence and generally being a toad-licking layabout. Take that, Magna Stift. In Victory Tour 50, Effie stepped up to serve as the stylist for District 12. We can easily dismiss the idea of her continuing this practice after working her way up the pecking order for the past few decades. She's too busy jawing about pearls at society events, and talking about how clever she is for coming up with the metaphor.
Did you know that if you put enough pressure on coal, it turns to pearls? And then everyone in their heads are thinking, that dumb bitch, but they just nod and smile.
Yes, they just nod and smile. We can't disagree with her.
Exactly.
She has a piece, and she's not afraid to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she shot a fly off a piece of shit. I don't even know how you could do that.
She's too good.
Yep. And everybody's saying, Effie, you should become a peacekeeper. And she's like, no, I just prefer, society events. I just have it in case anybody tries to mess with me. Mm-hmm. Or Hamish gets too drunk.
Yep.
You know that Effie is such a good marksman that if Hamish was smoking a cigarette, she could shoot it right out of his mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and then the only other stylist we know of is Tigress, but at this point she's been forcibly retired from the games, and she would be working with Hamish.
No.
Tigress hates Snow. Hamish also hates Snow. He would not want them to know each other. Mm-hmm. Hamish does not refuse the wine, but does at least start eating, which will soak it up. In the movie, there's a neat little touch during a dinner scene where Avox offers Hamish a drink, but he silently gestures that he doesn't want any more. This shows us that Hamish is beginning to take his mentor role at least a bit more seriously. And Effie scared him.
Yeah.
So Effie and Hamish arguing with each other isn't as much fun for them as it is for other people. Sin and Portia, the only adults in the room, said, hey, you guys have to be civil with each other, and they're obliging. Mm-hmm. So in the movie, Katniss and Peeta have to be told what the career districts are. In the book, they just already know.
Yeah.
This is where we get the movie-exclusive lore of them training in a special academy until they're 18. Mm-hmm. This ties with my idea that with whoever has the most test rate ends up volunteering will be chosen as the tribute, and they only volunteer when they're 18.
Yep.
Apparently, the careers are allowed to eat dessert because aren't allowed to eat strict desserts. Okay, I'm stumbling. The careers are not allowed to eat dessert because they've been put on strict diets, but District 12 has not been, so they can have dessert. Katniss notes that the Avoxes move wordlessly to and from the table. And at the end of the meal, dessert is served by the Avox Lavinia. She has porcelain white skin and dark red hair. In the illustrated version of the book, Lavinia is a dead ringer for Azula from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Please, she wasn't even a player. Look at the illustrated version. It's going to be in the thumbnail. Does she or does she not look like Azula? Let us know in the comments.
Yep.
Dessert is a gorgeous-looking cake with spirits that are burned away as they're artfully set ablaze. Cinna ordered it specially from her District 12. Mm-hmm. So, did Lavinia bake this cake herself, or is she merely serving it?
I think it's probably more likely that she's just serving it.
Yeah. I'm thinking about the Avoxes, it's menial labor, it's the stuff that everybody else doesn't want to do, and I imagine that they would want, professional chefs from the Capitol to be preparing food for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because in the earlier versions of the Hunger Games, the kids weren't given any food.
Yeah.
No wonder the shows were bad. They were too busy keeling over from hunger to kill each other.
Yeah.
We can't have that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, food in the Capitol uniformly has a sense of showmanship. It needs to visually dazzle on top of filling someone's bellies. Think of how sushi chefs turn cooking into an art form complete with juggling and stunts. Katniss begins to ask Lavinia if alcohol was used in the making of cake because that's the last thing I need because I'm already tipsy. But like the true autistic person she is, Katniss blurts out the wrong name at the wrong time, slamming, "Oh, I know you!" when she sees Lavinia. Lavinia looks terrified to be recognized by someone, shaking her head in denial and rushing off. Someone from her past life, particularly this person meeting her again, is a crazy coincidence. Katniss does not remember how she remembers Lavinia, only that seeing her causes feelings of anxiety and guilt to bubble up. The adults are watching Katniss like a hawk after she just revealed to the entire table that she knows an Avox. Effie snaps at Katniss, "You can possibly know an Avox because she's district." The very thought of being associated with an Avox is scandalous to Effie. Katniss stupidly asks, "What's an Avox?" We've already explained it. Mm-hmm. But Hamish, who's visited the Capitol yearly since he's been reaped, fills Katniss in on how one is made into an Avox. There are several consequences to Capitalites if they face criminal action. One is to be conscripted into service as a peacekeeper. Another is the death penalty. But the worst of these punishments is becoming Avox, that they exclusively reserve for traitors. Avoxes have their tongue cut out of their mouth and are enslaved for life. As for why Lavinia is named Lavinia, well, to answer that, we'll have to delve into Shakespeare. In Titus Andronicus, Lavinia is the daughter of the title character. She was assaulted by two princes who cut her tongue out afterwards to prevent her from telling anyone else about it. So that's why Lavinia is named Lavinia. It's because her tongue has been removed. While the Shakespearean Lavinia had her hands cut out by her tormentors, the Colensian Lavinia's hands remain intact. Effie's pile on, saying that Katniss really shouldn't be speaking to Lavinia unless it's to give her a command. And what do we make of Effie's reaction to Katniss speaking to an Avox?
I think it's just so socially accepted that you ignore Avoxes unless they're doing something for you and you're telling them to do something. But she's like, this girl is she doesn't understand any social cues. Why is she talking to this servant? We're supposed to be talking about the games and strategy and coming together. This girl's so weird.
Yeah.
District people have no manners.
Yeah, no manners. Why are they talking to slaves? That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, Effie really strikes me as being, very distant from the idea that people are doing all this work for the people in the capital, from the districts and the Avoxes alike. It's one of Effie's uglier moments, is she's like, you don't even want to talk to an Avox, you don't want to be associated with them at all. It's the worst thing you can do is to betray the capital if you're from the capital.
Yep.
So, in the book, Katniss is a very observant person, but even she has to be told that the Capitalites that have been assigned to her and the rest of Team 12 are slaves. Mm-hmm. She's noticing, hey, they don't really talk. They're moving about wordlessly, but she doesn't put together that they're slaves.
Yeah.
And Hamish says, oh yeah, she must be a traitor of some kind. It finally dawns on Katniss where she knows Lavinia from. She's staring like, oh, I know her from, thankfully Peeta comes in to save the day. Deli Cartwright, that's who it is. She's a dead raider for Deli. We briefly mentioned Deli in episode 3. She's a merchant girl their age from District 12. Katniss' description of Deli is not particularly flattering. Want to take care of this one, Grace?
Sure. So, she could easily describe this girl in a number of ways, but she says, Deli Cartwright is a pasty-faced, lumpy girl.
Oh my god.
With yellowish hair who looks about as much like her server as a beetle does a butterfly. She may also be the friendliest person on the planet. She smiles constantly at everyone in school, even me. I've never seen the girl with a red hair smile, but I jump on Peeta's suggestion and go, oh, yeah, that's who we're thinking of. Yeah, the ugly girl, yeah.
The ugly girl, jeez. Yeah. God, Katniss is so judgy. She's such a teenage girl in this scene.
Pasty-faced, lumpy girl.
God, write that in your burn book, why don't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it really strikes me that Katniss views someone as being friendly as what are they doing?
Yeah, they're trying to get me.
They're trying to get me. Peeta smiled and waved at people. Uh-oh, he's a bad guy. I don't like that.
Enemy.
Yeah, I feel like in real life, people who are extremely friendly are treated with suspicion by other people.
Yeah.
It's seen as weakness or that they're kind of stupid or something like that. Mm-hmm. I feel like I've been treated like that, and I've also been on the other side of it, why is this person constantly talking to me?
Yeah.
I have someone at work who always says, hey, Andrew, how are you doing? Several times a day, even after I greet him in the morning.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Andrew, my man, what's going on? And I'm like, good. Would you like to ask me questions about my life?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were saying, how's it going? I already said, doing good. And so I usually tell him, not much has changed since I last saw you.
That's hilarious.
Yes. Yeah, he seems like a nice guy and everything. I just don't really feel like there's much of a connection there.
Do you ask him questions back?
I ask him some questions back, yeah.
Nice.
Occasionally, I try to keep the answers short because I'm busy working, and I don't necessarily want to talk to a person that I don't really feel like I have a lot of chemistry with.
Fair.
Yeah, they're not harming me in any way. It's just that I can't really think of much to really talk about, and he doesn't really have much to talk about.
I think it's just one of those, social codes where people don't know what to say, and they're like, how are you? But then he's doing the faux pas of saying it over and over and over in the same day.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah.
How are you? What's up?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, and I feel like being optimistic and inviting can be seen as disingenuous by people.
Yeah.
Like, Effie is being very inviting, like, oh, it's so great that you're here, but she's clearly being duplicitous.
Yep.
Well, not even really duplicitous, like, she's just ignoring the elephant in the room of, you're going to die and I'm bringing you to your death.
Yep.
By gunpoint if necessary.
Exactly. She's packing.
She's packing.
Yeah.
She's packing heat. And this is a lesson that Katniss has to learn over and over again that, hey, maybe people who seem friendly are actually friendly.
Yeah.
There isn't really, I think, any twist villains in the Hunger Games from what I've seen so far.
No.
Like, even in the third book, the main villain, or should I say the hidden villain of that story, Katniss from the beginning is like, I don't like her, I don't trust her, or I think she looks like slush that you wish would just melt away. And because of that, it makes it so the series relies more on twist heroes instead.
Yes.
Like all these people that Katniss doesn't trust, she's like, actually, they're all right.
Yep, they're helping.
Yeah. It's not like most other series where there's a twist villain of some kind that's revealed.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's sort of code in movies. Now that Grace has seen Spider-Man Brand New Day, like, who's actually the main villain of the movie in terms of who's done the most bad stuff, he's right always like, hey, Spider-Man, great to see you! Hey, no need to worry about all the security and stuff. And from the moment I saw that, I was like, bad guy, bad guy, bad guy.
I know, I got the feeling too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he is... And I not only knew that because of how he was acting, but because this agency has done a lot of bad stuff already in the universe.
Yeah.
So it's not even like I was fooled, or it's like, well, maybe he's a little shady, but he's doing it for good reasons. Like, no, they're trying to find superpowered people, whether they're criminals or genuine superheroes, and locking them up because they'll get them more money.
Yep.
So I already knew with this foreground knowledge that I should not trust this Bill fellow.
Yeah.
He stinks.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if he smells. He seems like a very well-groomed man, but he stinks in a metaphorical sense.
His personality stinks. His choices stink.
And he doesn't even know what VMAX is.
Exactly.
Yeah, we won't spoil that part.
No, not yet.
God. Ugh. Yeah, okay, so, yeah, and I was thinking about how Katniss approaches her actual friends. Gale is a little more pessimistic than most people. And that's why he and Katniss relate to each other. Mm-hmm. They have the same outlook of, I don't know what this person is, and it took a long time for them to build up that trust with one another. They have similar interests, which also helps. Mm-hmm. And then Madge is more optimistic, and she makes it very clear to Katniss, I like you as a person, I like hanging out, I don't mind if we don't talk. Mm-hmm. And Katniss doesn't even internalize, I guess that she really does consider me a friend, until she kisses her on the cheek and gives her a family heirloom. Katniss. Aww. Katniss, girl. Friend.
Activity.
Friend. I have a bit more of this Madge stuff later on, don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't like all the Undercat stuff, you're a hater.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, like, I'm allowed to ship this character who may or may well be a lesbian. Mm-hmm. You don't know that.
We don't know.
Find me the proof that Madge is not a lesbian, and present it. Present your findings.
Exactly. You can't.
You can't.
You can't.
Yeah, I've been reading ahead and Catching Fire, and my God, there is so much romantic tension between Katniss and her three potential romantic partners of Gale, Madge, and Peeta. They should really call that book Catching Feelings. Okay, Peeta, meanwhile, more optimistic person, and it's revealed that he's known Jelly for years, with her affectionately referring to him as being her brother when they were little kids. Mm-hmm. So this is someone that Peeta considers a friend, and unlike Katniss, he's like, yeah, Jelly's cool, I like her. She is very friendly, and I'm pretty friendly, so we get along well.
And I'm saying nothing rude about her appearance, because I'm a nice and normal person.
Yeah. Would Peeta ever describe someone as lumpy? I don't think he would ever call that.
Pasty face, lumpy.
Yeah, I mean, she could stand to get a bit more sun, but I wouldn't call her pasty.
Yeah.
I mean, Katniss, wouldn't you be jealous that she's eating well? And I would never describe somebody as lumpy.
No.
Like, she buys plenty of the bread from my store. That's a good thing.
Yep.
I mean, talking about all this makes me want to see a high school anime prequel to The Hunger Games. I not only have the title picked out, I also have the cast list picked out.
Ooh.
Okay. The pause that Gale, Madge, and Peeta are all competing against one another for the ever-oblivious Katniss's attention, with Deli and Prim being caught in the middle, having to manage all these lovebirds. The English dub of that anime would be called, "Oh no! My Mockingjay has 2 other suitors, and she doesn't know any of us are alive!" You know, extra long title, well, because the English translations of Japanese always are super wordy.
Yep.
Okay, my cast list. Jamie Marchi as Katniss Everdeen. I chose Jamie because I feel like she'd be able to capture Katniss's caustic charm and endearing obliviousness. Plus, Jamie is aligned with the Borderlands series, which is already post-apocalyptic, so she can help with the scripting. Colin Clinkenbeard as Gale Hawthorne. Gale's a born leader, a rough-and-tumble scallywag, so why not cast the voice of Luffy from One Piece? While, unlike the rest of the world, I haven't actually watched One Piece, I do know this. Clinkenbeard is the coolest surname of all time. It sounds like a robot pirate, Grace. Mm-hmm. And if Gale could choose one profession other than hunting and killing people from the capital, it'd probably be a robot pirate.
Yep.
It doesn't surprise me at all that her most famous role is play a pirate. And now, here's one that I feel particularly passionate about. Monica Rial as Madge Undersea. Monica Rial is not just my favorite voicey actor. She's my favorite actor, period. Those other actors are called facies, by the way. There's voices and there's facies. Mm-hmm. Facies are like Jennifer Lawrence and Josh Hutcherson, and then the voices are the voice actors like I'm describing here. Mm-hmm. During a panel of Monica's I attended in Fan Expo Boston back in 2025, she mentioned not really connecting to a particular role she'd been cast in. It was the overprotective best friend of the lead character. So, to make the character more interesting to her, she decided as an actor to play it as though her character was secretly in love with her female friend. I mean, come on, that's totally Madge. Mm-hmm. Justin Briner as Peeta Mellark. Most know Justin as Deku from My Hero Academia, and his character on the show emphasizes both strength and vulnerability, rage and kindness. God, Sean, look at this bread I baked. Hey, damn it, Deku, I don't care about your bread. And stop throwing at me like a football. Okay, Megan Shipman as Primrose Everdeen. She's Anya from Spy X Family, although it's technically called Spy Family, but everybody calls it Spy X Family or Spy Times Family. I don't know why there's the X there. Yeah. Why is the X there if you're not supposed to pronounce it? It's stupid. It's obviously Spy times Family times Assassin times Psychic Dog who can tell the future. Mm-hmm. She plays Anya Forger, who is very bright and energetic, so I think she'd be really good to bring out the innocence of Prim. Yep. And you could have a lot of comedy about Katniss' little sister being like, come on, it's so obvious that these 3 people are into you, Katniss. And so she tries to use it for her advantage. You know what Katniss really likes is bread. You know what? Tell you what, give me the bread and I'll give it to her. You know what
she really likes? Prop comedy.
Prop comedy. Yeah. You're right.
Yes.
Yes, and she'd be telling the truth because Katniss loves prop comedy.
She loves prop comedy.
Yep. And, of course, Lucy Christian... Oh, I'm sorry. I just read that. Chris Pratt as Deli Cartwright, obviously.
What?
Yeah, well, Chris Pratt is taking up all the voicey roles.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, he's Garfield, he's Mario. Mm-hmm. Yeah, first person you think about when you think of Mario, right?
Chris Pratt, exactly.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Lucy Christian already has a lot of anime roles. She can just go quack or whatever. Yeah. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a big cheerleader for comic conventions. Bob Pratt, I've interacted with every single one of these legends. And it turns out they were awesome behind the mic and behind the booth. God, I love voice actors. It's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to work on this podcast. Mm-hmm. Once again, that's, oh no, my Mockingjay has 2 other suitors, and she doesn't even know any of us are alive. Don't ask me for it in Japanese, I wouldn't know it. Grace's boss, Daniel, might, though.
Mm-hmm. He knows some Japanese.
Yeah, I told him I like anime, and he bowed at me and spoke Japanese to me, and I was like...
You're like, okay.
Yeah, he's not himself Japanese.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a great boss, and is far more knowledgeable about these things than I am.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The mood around the table relaxes. They're eating Lavinia's cake, and Cinna's like, oh yeah, I ordered especially for you guys. Mm-hmm. Anyways, and then Team 12 moves on to watching a recap of the parade in the sitting room. A few other couples makes a good impression, but they just can't handle District 12. Hamish takes an interest in Katniss and Peeta's hand-holding during the ceremony, asking whose idea it was. Porsche reveals it was Cinna's idea, and Hamish expresses his approval, saying something very interesting. Mm-hmm. Just the perfect touch of rebellion. Very nice. Mm-hmm. Why does he say rebellion?
Katniss Katniss doesn't know. She's like, how is that rebellion to just hold hands?
Yeah.
Also, I think it's funny that Portia says it's Cinna's idea, because my headcanon is that Peeta was like, they told us we have to hold hands. And
yes.
He's like, yay!
Yeah, like, oh, Katniss, I'm so dizzy. You better hold my hand or I'll fall over.
Exactly. But yeah, so she's trying to figure out, why is it rebellious to hold hands? And then she realizes the whole thing about the Hunger Games is pitting people against each other. So even though they're together, like in so many circumstances, they're going to have to kill each other. And so holding hands with the person you're going in with shows unity, and that you care about that person as a human being to some extent.
Yeah, it shows district pride.
Exactly.
And mostly all the other tributes are understandably just looking out for themselves, because they're like, look, my partner's going to die. I'm probably going to die. I got to do everything in my power to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yep.
Yeah, and what Katniss does not know is that throughout Panem, there's a network of rebels working to overthrow the government. They want to overthrow install a constitutional democracy, and prioritize all those who've been oppressed and exploited by the capital, and to abolish the Hunger Games. This network of spies is largely referred to as the rebels. Mm-hmm. People in Panem aren't very imaginative when it comes to naming things. Mm-hmm. Both Cinna and Haymitch are revealed to be rebels in Catching Fire. Effie is not a rebel, and it's uncertain if Portia is a rebel or not. There is contextual evidence that suggests Cinna has been a rebel since before the events of Book 1, because he specifically requested District 12 over the others. Mm-hmm. Given me and Grace do not believe in the fan theory that everything Katniss did was predetermined, I think that the more likely explanation is that Cinna saw potential in Katniss and genuinely wanted to help someone from the outlying districts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, once again, are stylists allowed to request specific tributes based on the reaping footage? So, I always thought it was that, like, they were always negotiating to try to get the higher number districts. Mm-hmm. But it occurred to me that watching the districts, they could try to compete for, or so they can get, like, a contract of some kind.
I wonder if Cinna already had the idea, like, he was thinking about all the districts and already had the idea to do something with fire specifically, and was like, 12 is the one that makes sense with fire. Yeah, 12 is the one that makes sense with fire. Grain, you'd just be sending grain on fire. Exactly. Cows, you'd make hamburgers. I mean, just think about how long it would have taken to come up with the chemical reaction where it looks like fire but it doesn't burn you.
Yeah.
Like, that takes research. That takes time and dedication. Especially, like, sure, people from District 12 maybe wouldn't know about it, but this seems like it's a relatively new invention.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Are Cinna and Portia secret scientists, too? It says that they developed the synthetic fire. Yeah. Although I kind of like the idea that's just real fire, and he told Katniss that to make her feel better.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess it could work for District 7. It could be like a forest fire.
Could be.
Yeah, okay, so... is Portia already a veteran stylist, or are she and Cinna business/creative partners who both insisted on District 12? Yeah, and I guess that's the idea of them giving them matching outfits, and allegedly he suggested that they hold hands. Mm-hmm. But Haymitch using the word rebellion in this company is a very unintelligent thing to do. It implicates Cinna, Effie, and Portia as potential traitors, and does no favors for his tributes. It has such a negative connotation because of the dark days. Haymitch was more lucid than we saw him on the train or during the reaping, so why would he say something so risky? Maybe Haymitch has essentially become libel-proof in the eyes of Panem. After all, Haymitch is a washed-up teen idol with nothing left to lose. And maybe he could be, nothing he could be accused by would be outrageous. Like, hey Haymitch just said, hey, I'm really glad I punched that Peeta person. Mm-hmm. And the people who were spying on him would be like, well, yeah, of course Haymitch would say something like that. He says crazy stuff all the time.
He's the rascal.
He's the rascal, yes. Mm-hmm. He's cushioned against controversy because he's constantly courting it. And so I think that's why he said that. He's like, yeah, I can say rebellion, they won't care. They know I tried to rebel and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't think the Capitol seriously suspects anyone else in Team 12 of rebellion. Mm-mm. And this might be where Haymitch got the idea of pitching his tributes as the star-crossed lovers of District 12 as well, because he seems especially interested in them holding hands.
Yep.
So he's like, hey, maybe I could try to use this. He dismisses Katniss and Peeta for the evening because the first training session is tomorrow. He instructs the pair to meet them beforehand at breakfast. We'll lay out the law about how he wants them to play it. Now, go get some sleep while the grown-ups talk. Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't worry about the hangover, Katniss. It'll get better in time.
Just drink more, then you never have a hangover.
Yes. You have the dog that done bit yo ass. This is his version of saying goodnight to them.
Mm-hmm. Get some sleep while the grown-ups talk.
Yes. Katniss and Peeta are heading to their rooms, but Peeta leans against the doorframe before she can enter it. This doesn't block her, but does insist upon paying attention to him. Mm-hmm. So, Deli Cartwright, imagine finding her lookalike here.
And they realize, she's like, okay, he's on to something. He knows that I have more to say. And so they decide to talk a little bit more about it.
God damn it, I owe him again.
Yeah.
And she decides to be truthful, because she's like, well, I don't see how he could use that information really against me. And she wants to get a second opinion to assuage her guilt and figure out what Lavinia's deal is. Mm-hmm. And she's like, hey, maybe if I'm friendly with Pete, I could trick him to thinking that I'm actually his friend.
Yep.
And so she'd usually talk to Gale, but he isn't here.
Yep.
Here. And then Lavinia has reminded me why I'm here. Not to model flashy costumes or eat delicacies, but to die a bloody death while the crowds urge on my killer. Mm-hmm. To conceal the conversation, Pia's like, hey, why don't we go to the roof? Even if the wind is a bit loud. Katniss is like, it seems to be the capital's a city that never sleeps, and so much electricity has to be consumed to keep these night owls entertained. She remarks that unlike home, there would never be a power shortage. Mm-hmm. So Sin showed Peeta the roof earlier and explained to him that tributes can't commit suicide by jumping off of it because the force will just bounce them back onto the building. Mm-hmm. This has to be because a kid tried this before or succeeded in doing this before, right?
I would think so.
Yeah. Yeah, so why did Sin take Peeta's side if he's not Peeta's stylist?
It's a good question because they have individual stylists for each tribute.
Yeah, so you'd think that Portia would have showed him.
Right.
Yeah, maybe Peeta's like, hey, so if I tried to, flirt with Katniss, do you think it would work? I don't think she'd pick up on it, but it's worth a try.
Totally. So they're on the roof, and here's where my theory from earlier comes in. Mm-hmm. The floor, so there are 12 floors.
Yeah.
The roof, 13th floor.
Yes, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Where you're not really supposed to go there or know about it, but some people do.
Just like District 13.
Just like District 13.
Haha, very nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Da-da-da. And so it's here that we find that where Katniss discloses what the story is with Lavinia. Care to take over, Grace?
So she was hunting in the woods with Gale specifically, and she saw two people, so a boy and a girl, and they had messy clothing, tattered. They looked like they were on the run, essentially. And she sees them going through the forest, and then suddenly a hovercraft came out of nowhere in the sky. And it shot a spear through the boy, killing him. And then they took the girl. They left. And she feels a lot of guilt about this because she could tell that they were in trouble and they did not help the boy and the girl. Theoretically, she's like, oh, I could have intervened or done something, but she didn't. And she realizes that the girl that she saw all those years ago that was taken by the hovercraft was Lavinia. Mm-hmm. So that's why when she recognized her, she couldn't quite make that connection until she thought about it a little bit more. But she carries a lot of guilt.
The odds of that happening are crazy. Because she is reached into the Hunger Games, and then she sees the person that she saw all those years ago.
Yeah.
Main character. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the last thing Katniss heard Lavinia say was the boy's name, and then the hovercraft flew away. And then, when I was first reading this book series, I thought Lavinia would be a more important character in later installments. Why did she run away if she's from the capital? Oh, and what was the deal with her? What was the deal with that boy? Was it somebody that she was a friend with? Or was it someone that she was romantically involved with, a family member? What's the deal?
Yeah.
But this was never answered. Weird. And I thought that this would be an important plot point for later on, for when they're actually attacking the Capitol later on.
Yeah.
Like, she would find a way to sneak them in or something like that. But she doesn't even appear in book 3.
Yeah.
And instead, there's another Avox character that's invented called Pollux, who leads them through the underground. I thought that was a weird dynamic, because it feels like they set her up for so much in the last book, and then she just doesn't even appear in the last book.
Yeah.
Suzanne Collins tends to do this sometimes, where she introduces characters to have a specific purpose or to deliver exposition, and then she just, like, doesn't use them later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing for Catching Fire, because there's a head peacekeeper who's a total bastard, terrifying, but he never appears in the book series again. And I was like, why isn't he a mini-boss?
Yeah.
It's weird. It, to me, feels like a flaw within the story. Like, I feel like you could get away with that a couple of times not using a character, even if it, I guess it's more realistic that you wouldn't meet everybody who, like, delivered something that was important to you.
Yep.
But I feel like Lavinia was wasted potential in later installments.
Agreed.
Several characters I feel like have wasted potential. Just don't even get me started on Catching Fire and the Victors and the plan and everything. We'll get to that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm being reminded with Lavinia of, like, Bree Tanner from Eclipse. We mentioned her book earlier, where she's there. She is introduced in the same chapter she dies in. She's a little girl who is recruited into the Seattle Newborn Army, which is a terrific name for a band. And then she surrenders to the good guy vampires. Her heart really isn't. Then the other bad guy vampires called the Volturi torture and kill her. The purpose of this is to show that the bad guy vampires are bad, which we already knew. You know, and she gets a first name, last name, and even got her own junior novella.
Yep.
But she is largely not that important. I'm surprised that the movies gave her something to do at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then another example is the Fantastic Beasts series. There's the character of Lita Lestrange, or Lestrange, more French pronunciation. She's the most interesting character in the second movie, and she's killed off.
Yeah.
She has all these ties to the leads. There's a mystery about her being connected to the reason Newt Scamander's expelled from school. She's one of the few good Slytherins throughout the entire franchise. And we find out that she got her little brother killed. Super interesting stuff. And then she dies.
Yeah.
It was a big mistake to kill her off in the second movie, because Zoe Kravitz, if you're going to have Cinna's daughter in your movie, use Cinna's daughter in your movie.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that's a part of the reason the third Fantastic Beasts movie wasn't as successful, because the character that we became invested in just is killed off when she destroys Grindelwald's skull hookah, which is also a great name for a band. Yeah, and by the way, I forgot to mention, she was on the fucking Titanic. The character who survived the sinking of the fucking Titanic was killed off.
Insane.
You'd think they'd be like, wow, how do you feel about a Muggle ship going down while you're on it? Do you blame the Muggles for it, for them being Muggles? Or you're like, this could have happened to anyone?
Yeah.
And it's so annoying. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think we're going to get that fourth and fifth movie any day now.
Yeah. Especially
since they're making a new TV show that's ignoring everything else. Yeah. And here's the thing. I actually kind of like Fantastic Beasts 2 a little bit, but even I can acknowledge, as a guilty pleasure, it is a very dumb thing to do from a story structure. Yeah. If you kill off a character, for the most part, you can't use them again. You can only use their memory.
Yep.
And there was just not many interesting characters in the third movie I could root for. Mm-hmm. The love interest wasn't really in it. The sister of the love interest wasn't really in it, and her explanation of why she turned to the bad side didn't make any sense. I could just go on and on.
Yep.
And a Muggle uses a wand. That's the most important rule of Harry Potter, is that Muggles can't do magic, but they break it. Why?
Just nonsense.
Yeah, I guess if you're transphobic, your head is so full of garbage, you just spew it on screen as well.
True.
Okay. I was talking about the Hunger Games, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Okay, so Lavinia is important in the sense that she establishes the concept of Avoxes and ratchets up the tension of Book 1 by adding another potential adversary for Katniss to contend with. But I completely understand why she was trimmed out of the movie, because she's not really that important in the grand calculus of the series.
Yep.
Down. So why did Lavinia and her friend run away from the Capitol?
Right.
Yeah. Maybe she was like a daughter of somebody who was influential, or she just saw something that made her go, I don't want to live here anymore. Mm-hmm. And then she tried to escape with her friend, and then they were ultimately tracked down. I always kind of wondered if she was like from an influential family and she did something bad that got her arrested.
And why did they let her survive but kill the boy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot we don't know.
Yeah, maybe her boyfriend was like a criminal or something, and she ran off with him. Mm-hmm. And that's why she was allowed to live and serve as an Avox as like punishment for her aiding and abetting a criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Katniss can't even understand why someone in the Capitol would run away. She doesn't understand. She can't even allow the idea of people in the Capitol suffering into her head. They might as well be from another planet. But Katniss has seen firsthand the Capitol treats the people of the Capitol very cruelly.
Yeah.
If you step one toe out of line, you could become an Avox just like that. Mm-hmm. Even if you don't commit a crime, someone in power could just decide they don't like you and make you into an Avox by claiming that you did something bad.
Yep.
And Katniss isn't really seeming to process this. She's just like, I don't understand why they left. They have everything.
Yep.
She doesn't really understand that people in the Capitol would be capable of being like, yo, this is fucked up. We shouldn't have the Hunger Games. We shouldn't have slavery.
Yeah.
We saw how Team 12 barely acknowledged the Avox is. Even Cinna and Portia, who are like on the nicer side, don't even seem to say thank you. Mm-hmm. It occurs to me that assigning Avoxes to the Tribute Center is a special form of humiliation. You're in close proximity to the world you once belonged to without being able to access it. And then you have to take orders for people who are from the districts to further humiliate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then something that also occurred to me is that district kids or mentors could be abusing their Avoxes on purpose out of a misplaced sense of anger. Mm-hmm. I don't think everyone would do that, but there have to have been incidents over the years.
Oh, definitely.
Pete is slightly more sympathetic to the people of the Capitol, even after he's been read. I'd leave here, but you have to admit, the food's prime. He doesn't like someone contemplating the unquestioning goodness of the Capitol. Mm-hmm. But he's also covering himself by saying, hey, the food's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like the slavery stuff, but your food is really good. Trust me, I know my bread, and this bread is superb.
I know my bread.
Yep. Katniss and Peeta go downstairs with Peeta asking a bit about Gale, who he mistakes for being a cousin of Katniss.
And she corrects him.
Yes.
She's like, no, he's not a cousin. He's just a friend.
Yes.
Just a friend.
Yeah, my headcanon is that Peeta constantly calls him Gil.
Gil? Yes.
Yes, as a way of, like, undermining him.
Yep.
Yeah, and he calls Madge Marge. Mm-hmm. Like, Gil and Marge. And he does this as a way of undermining them so he can be like, oh, she knows my... Oh, they can't stop thinking about me, and I pretend I don't even really consider them a threat. Mm-hmm.
And Peeta does mention that the girls talk about Gale a lot, which is his way of saying, like, he's kind of attractive, huh?
Yeah, he's kind of attractive.
And they made out a bit, but hot, it would never work.
Yes, while hot, it would never work.
While hot, it would never work.
Yes. Yeah, so is he getting this information from Delhi? Or is he just like, God, Gale is just like... dating all these women, and I don't think that he would really commit like I would, Katniss.
Yeah.
So, up until the hand-holding in the display, Badge probably considered Gale to be your biggest obstacle to Katniss's heart, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. It would certainly explain why their interaction in the first chapter was so frosty.
Yep. Hashtag undercat.
He's like, nice pin, you're probably not going to get read because you're so rich.
Yep.
And then Madge is like, oh my god, I hate that Gale exists. Mm-hmm. I have no problem with Katniss being bi. I have a problem with Gale being this close to her constantly hanging out with her. Yeah. I can barely get a word edgewise, and I had to pry the information from her about the girl who got kidnapped, but you just had the bonding experience together. You know what? I wish I was there. What, you wish you were there to watch somebody get speared in the chest like they were fighting Scorpion from Mortal Kombat? Get over here.
Yeah.
No, I would just be happy with any time with Katniss, honestly.
Yep.
Katniss also discloses that Otho visited her during the goodbyes. Peeta seems surprised.
Mm-hmm. He's like, why did my dad visit you?
Yeah.
She's like, oh yeah, he gave me cookies.
Those are my cookies.
Those were my cookies.
Put that cookie down.
Exactly. The cookies that she threw out of the train.
Yes.
On a whim. And then probably went, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, it reminded me of dandelions, and I'm going to name my kid Dandelion.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so he then discloses, like, oh, you probably know this. Like, your mom and my dad, like, they knew each other as kids. And Katniss feels a little bit bad, and she's like, I wonder if, like, the dad talks about it all the time, but, like, the only thing that Astrid has said is, like, the bread is good.
The bread is good.
And, like, hasn't really mentioned him at all.
Yeah. You know what? Astrid might not be as good at sensing crushes, just like her daughter.
Yep.
Yeah, Burdock sings for me constantly. I wonder if he likes me.
Yeah.
He must be a really good friend to bring me all these things from the forest and sing to me.
Yep.
This takes Katniss aback. She's never heard Astrid mention Otho before, and Pia says that he likes both of the Evergene girls, and he says that he always wanted to have a daughter. Mm-hmm. Whereas he has, like, this house full of boys.
Yep.
And then... And Katniss is like, well, thanks. Night.
Yeah, good night.
Sweet dreams.
Goodbye.
Tuck, tuck, tuck. Toes, toes, toes.
Exactly. But... unfortunately, in the hallways, she runs into the Avox.
Yes.
And she feels awkward and she feels bad. She wants to apologize and say sorry for not acknowledging her, getting her any help or anything like that. And she remembers what Effie had said, that she's only allowed to give orders. So she just stands there and...
I order you to forgive me.
Exactly. So instead of saying sorry... she gives her clothes and is like, can you bring these clothes to Cinna? She nods and, like, scampers away. But Katniss feels really guilty about this and feels really bad. And she wanted to say, I'm really sorry about dinner and getting you in trouble. I'm sorry I didn't help you. I'm sorry I saw this happen and didn't do anything. And then she makes the comparison. She says... seeing the Capitol kill the boy and mutilate her without lifting a finger was like Katniss herself was watching the games.
Yeah.
And seeing the cruelty of the Capitol and not doing anything about it.
Yeah. You know what? You can, like, tease me or, like, punch me or what. You can stick your tongue out at it. Oh, no. Yeah. I forgot. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. I'm on the spectrum. That's why I say stupid stuff. Sorry. Okay. And she's fairly certain that Lavinia also recognized her.
Yeah.
You don't forget the face of the person who was your last hope. I wonder if she'll enjoy watching me die.
That's a very Katniss thing to say.
Yeah.
Very wah-wah.
Yeah. So, I actually pulled up some real figures about slavery in our world. So, this is something that I've learned that shocked me. Thankfully, overground slavery is largely being abolished in the 21st century, but the fight for international abolition is still raging on. Here's a statistic I've come across in my research. There are 193 countries in the world which are official UN members. In 2020, the World Economic Forum reported that out of those 193 countries, there is no criminal law against slavery in 94 of them.
Yeah.
So that's nearly half. Holy shit! The largest current offender in terms of population dispersal is North Korea, where 1 out of every North Koreans are slaves.
1 out of 10, that's crazy.
Yeah. As of this episode's recording, me and Grace's country, the USA, has just celebrated its 250th anniversary. Our semi-quincentennial comes during one of the darkest periods in American history, where nostalgia for the ideals of slavery are at an all-time high. Cruelty is being celebrated. Idiots are being lauded as ingenious, going on and on about fucking Colin Pearls.
Yeah.
And the truth is terrifying to tyrants. The comparisons between our home country and the gem of Pan Am write themselves. Everyone is miserable, and everyone's suffering because President Donald Sutherland has the power to make the world a player place, but he cares too much about that goddamn ballroom. Mm-hmm. While we know that this podcast likely won't move mountains, just creating something entertaining and engaging for our fans is enough. If only one person listens to one episode over the entire run of our podcast and laughs once, or doesn't feel like they were so alone during these dark days, then it was all worth it.
Yep.
And even if the dark days end with the implementation of a real-life Hunger Games, then hey, at least me and Grace hopefully help you brainstorm strategies.
Exactly.
Yeah, expect silly string, expect pool noodles, expect water pistols.
And elevators, too.
And elevators.
Exactly.
Yeah, you could just try to trap somebody under the shaft of the elevator and then press the elevator.
Exactly.
Don't press all the buttons, though, because you want them to go down quickly.
And do not press the acid button.
Do not press the acid button. That's very important. It's clearly labeled.
Exactly.
Do you think it's like a little symbol, or does it say acid?
I think it has both.
I think it has both. Yes,
Yeah.
just some, like, hey, dum-dum, don't touch it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just a little test.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, thank you once again for another great episode, guys.
Yep.
Section 3, next time on District 14.
Well, that wraps up Chapter 6, the Avox. What's next, Andrew?
I'm glad you asked that, Grace. The next episode is going to be named The Training.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Yeah, it was the train, and that's the training. Until next time, I'm Andrew.
I'm Grace.
Happy Hunger Games!
And may the odds be ever in your favor.